Hi friends! Welcome back to our English learning channel. I'm Sarah, and I am so happy to see you again. Today we have a very special listening practice. It is going to be fun, useful, and easy to follow. We will spend time together listening, learning, and speaking English slowly and naturally. So, find a comfortable place, sit back, take a deep breath, and relax. Today is all about listening, understanding, and enjoying simple English. Before we start, I want you to promise yourself one thing. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Listening is like exercising your brain. The more you practice, the stronger your English will become. And here is the good news. You are not alone. I will guide you slowly, repeat keywords, and explain everything. This practice is made for beginners and for anyone who wants to improve English step by step. Today, we will hear real-life stories, natural conversations, and friendly dialogues. You will hear me talk like a friend, and I will explain each new word carefully. Sometimes, I will ask you simple questions, and after a short pause, I will give you the answers. This way, you can practice understanding English and checking yourself at the same time. Let me give you a small tip before we begin. Always try to listen with your eyes closed sometimes. It helps your brain focus only on listening, and it makes English easier to understand. And another thing, don't be afraid to repeat what you hear. Shadowing is a very useful technique. It means you repeat after me, slowly, word by word. Your speaking will improve a lot if you practice like this. Now, are you ready?
Great.
Let's start our journey with a simple story. Listen carefully and imagine the situation in your mind. Picture the people, the places, and the feelings. This is a very important skill for learning English. The more you imagine, the easier it is to remember new words and expressions. We will begin with a story about a young woman named Emily, who is learning English. Emily is like many of us. She wants to speak English well, but sometimes she feels nervous. Today, you will listen to her day, her small struggles, and her exciting moments. You will hear simple English sentences, repeated words, and expressions that you can use in your life too. One sunny morning, Emily woke up very early. The sun was shining softly through her window. She smiled and said to herself, "Today will be a good day. I will practice English today, and I will learn something new." She got out of bed, stretched, and walked to the kitchen. Her cat, Milo, was sitting near the window. Milo meowed loudly, like he wanted to say, "Good morning." Emily laughed. She said, "Good morning, Milo. Are you ready for a fun day?" After a healthy breakfast, Emily decided to go for a short walk in her neighborhood. Walking is her favorite way to practice English. She likes to listen to English podcasts and repeat new words aloud while she walks. Today, she chose a podcast about meeting new people in English. She put on her headphones and started listening carefully. The podcast said, "Hello. Today, we will learn simple ways to introduce yourself in English. Let's start with an easy sentence. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you." Repeat after me. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you. Emily repeated slowly, clearly. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you. She smiled. Good, she said. I am learning step by step. While walking, Emily saw her friend, Anna, sitting on a bench. Anna waved at her. Emily walked closer and said, "Hi, Anna. How are you today?" Anna smiled and replied, Hi, Emily. I'm good, thank you. And you? Emily felt happy. She remembered the podcast lesson and said, I'm happy too. I am learning English every day. Anna looked surprised and said, Wow, that's great. I want to learn English too. Emily and Anna sat on the bench and started talking. Emily tried to use simple words. She said, Today I woke up early. The sun is shining. I had breakfast and now I am walking. I listened to an English podcast. It is fun. Anna listened carefully and repeated some words. Shining, breakfast, podcast. I like these words, Anna said. Emily laughed. Yes, you can practice too, she said. After a few minutes, they saw a small dog running in the park. The dog was playful, jumping and barking happily. Emily said, Look, Anna, the dog is very happy. He is running fast. Anna smiled and said, Yes, he looks funny. I like him. Emily nodded and said slowly, Animals are nice. They make us happy. They continued their walk. Emily noticed a small coffee shop. She said, Anna, do you want to drink coffee? Anna said, Yes, I like coffee. They went inside the shop. Emily ordered coffee and a sandwich. The man at the counter said, Hello, what would you like? Emily repeated slowly, Hello. I would like a coffee and a sandwich, please. The man smiled and said, Sure. Anything else? Emily said, No, thank you. While waiting, Emily and Anna talked more. Emily asked, Anna, do you like learning English? Anna replied, Yes, but sometimes I feel nervous. Emily said, That's normal. I felt nervous too, but listening slowly and repeating helps me. Anna said, Really? I want to try. Emily smiled and said, Okay, let's practice together. After getting their coffee, they sat near the window. Emily asked, Anna, can we introduce ourselves in English? Like this. Hello, my name is Anna. I am happy to meet you. Repeat after me. Anna repeated slowly. Hello, my name is Anna. I am happy to meet you. Emily clapped softly. Very good. Now you are speaking English. Time passed quickly. The sun was higher in the sky. Emily said, Anna, it is time to go home. But I am happy we practiced English today. Anna said, Me too. I will practice more every day. They smiled and waved goodbye. Emily walked home slowly, thinking about the morning. She felt proud. She said to herself, I am learning English step by step. Every day I will listen, repeat, and practice. When she reached home, Emily took a notebook and wrote down new words. She wrote, shining, breakfast, podcast, nervous, happy, practice. She read each word aloud slowly and repeated it twice. Then she wrote simple sentences using these words. Emily knew that writing and speaking together helps memory. Finally, Emily relaxed on her sofa. She thought about the day and smiled. Today was a good day, she said. I listened, I spoke, I practiced, and I learned new words. Tomorrow I will do the same. I will become better step by step. Now, my friends, let's pause here for a moment. Did you notice some new words? Let's go through them slowly. The word shining means bright and full of light. Repeat after me. Shining. Good. Breakfast is the first meal in the morning. Repeat. Breakfast. Podcast is an audio show you can listen to. Repeat. Podcast. Nervous means a little afraid or worried. Repeat. Nervous. Happy is feeling good and smiling. Repeat. Happy. Practice means to do something again and again to get better. Repeat. Practice. Excellent. Next, let's check your understanding. Why was Emily happy in the morning? Pause and think. Yes. She listened to a podcast, went for a walk, and met her friend. What did Emily and Anna practice together? Pause. Right. They practiced introducing themselves in English. Can you repeat one sentence they used? Hello, my name is. I am happy to meet you. Perfect. We followed Emily on her sunny morning walk, meeting her friend Anna, practicing introductions, and learning some new words. If you listen carefully, you already practiced words like shining, breakfast, podcast, nervous, happy, and practice. Excellent. Now, let's see what happens next. Today, Emily will face a small challenge. She wants to speak English with someone she doesn't know. Sometimes this can feel a little scary, but don't worry. Emily will show us how to stay calm, listen carefully, and use simple English to communicate. This is very important for all English learners. In the afternoon, Emily decided to go to the local library. She loves the library because it is quiet and she can read English books. She put on her backpack, took her notebook, and walked to the library. The streets were busy with people walking, children playing, and cars passing by. Emily smiled and thought, I am ready for today. I want to speak more English and learn new words. When Emily entered the library, she saw many people sitting and reading. She walked slowly to the desk where the librarian was standing. The librarian smiled and said, Hello. Can I help you? Emily felt a little nervous. Her heart beat a little faster, but she remembered her practice. She took a deep breath and said slowly, Hello. My name is Emily. I want to find books in English. Can you help me, please? The librarian nodded kindly and said, Of course. We have many books in English. Are you looking for stories, learning books, or something else? Emily thought for a moment and said, I want storybooks. I like stories. I want to read and learn English. The librarian smiled and led Emily to a shelf with colorful books. Emily looked at the titles. Some words were new to her, but she tried to read slowly. One book said, The Adventure of Lucy and Max. Another book said, My First English Stories. Emily smiled. She picked 2 books and said, I will take these, please. The librarian checked the books and said, You can borrow them for 2 weeks. Enjoy reading. Emily said, Thank you very much. She walked to a small table near the window and opened the first book. The story was about a little girl named Lucy who finds a small lost puppy. Emily read slowly. Lucy saw a small puppy. The puppy was alone. Lucy wanted to help him. She repeated the words aloud slowly, practicing pronunciation. After a few minutes, a boy around Emily's age came to the table. He said, Hi, are you reading English? Emily looked up and smiled. She said, Yes. My name is Emily. I am learning English. The boy said, My name is Jack. I like reading too. Can we read together? Emily felt a little nervous. She didn't know if her English was good enough. But she remembered, it's okay to make mistakes. She nodded and said, Yes, let's read together. Emily and Jack started reading the story slowly. They took turns reading sentences. Emily read, Lucy saw a small puppy. Jack read, the puppy was alone. They smiled at each other and continued. Emily noticed that listening carefully helped her understand better. Sometimes she didn't know a word, but she tried to guess from the story. After a few pages, Jack asked, Emily, what does the word alone mean? Emily thought and said slowly, alone means by yourself, not with anyone. Alone. Repeat, alone. Jack repeated, alone. Emily smiled. Good. Yes, it means by yourself. Lucy was by herself. They continued reading. Suddenly, the story said, Lucy gave the puppy some water. The puppy was happy. Emily paused and said slowly, Water, it is the thing we drink. Repeat, water. Jack repeated, water. Emily said, Good. Puppy was happy because Lucy gave him water. Jack laughed. Yes, puppies like water. I like this story. After some time, Emily realized she was speaking more easily. She could ask questions, answer questions, and explain words. She said to herself, Wow, I can do this. I am practicing step by step. Then Jack said, Emily, do you want to play a small game with English words? Emily was curious. Yes, what game? She asked. Jack explained, I will say a word in English and you tell me the meaning. Then you say a word and I tell the meaning. It is fun. Emily smiled and said, Okay, let's play. Jack started, happy. Emily said, Happy, it means good feeling. Feeling, smile. Repeat, happy. Jack nodded. Very good. Now you say a word. Emily thought and said, alone. Jack repeated, alone. By yourself. Okay, I remember. They laughed. This simple game helped Emily remember words more easily. After a while, Emily realized it was almost time to leave. She felt proud. Speaking English with someone new was not scary anymore. She said, Jack, thank you. I learned many words today. You helped me feel confident. Jack smiled and said, You are welcome, Emily. Keep practicing. You are good. Emily waved goodbye and walked home. On her way home, Emily thought about the day. She said to herself, Today, I met someone new, practiced English, and I learned many words. I was nervous, but I did it. Step by step, I will become better. She opened her notebook and wrote new words: alone, water, happy, story, puppy, game. She repeated each word aloud slowly. Then she wrote small sentences. Lucy was alone. The puppy drank water. Emily felt happy. I like the game. These sentences helped her remember the words. Now, friends, let's pause and review some new words. Alone means by yourself. Repeat, alone. Water is the thing we drink. Repeat, water. Story is a tale or a small book with events. Repeat, story. Puppy is a small dog. Repeat, puppy. Game is an activity for fun. Repeat, game. Very good. You are learning fast. Next, a small comprehension check. Who helped Emily in the library? Pause. Yes, Jack, the boy who liked reading. What game did they play? Pause. Right. They played a word game where they asked each other meanings. Why was Emily nervous at first.
Pause. Correct.
She was speaking with someone new, and she didn't know if her English was good. Before we finish this section, I want to give you a tip. Meeting new people in English can be scary, but it is the best way to improve. Start with small words and simple sentences. Ask questions. Repeat new words. Smile and stay positive. You will feel more confident each time you try. Remember, mistakes are okay. They help you learn. So, today we learned to speak with someone new, practice reading, ask about new words, and play a small English game. Emily faced her nervousness and succeeded because she listened, repeated, and stayed calm. You can do the same. We followed Emily to the library. She met Jack, read a story, and played a small word game. She learned new words and felt confident speaking English with someone new. Today, we will see how Emily uses English in a small shop, talking to people, asking questions, and buying things. This is very useful for everyday life. After Emily left the library, she felt excited. She thought, I want to speak more English today. I can practice asking questions and buying things. It will be fun. She walked slowly down the street. The sun was still shining softly, and the air was fresh. She saw a small bakery with bread and cakes in the window. The smell was delicious. Emily smiled. She decided to go inside. When Emily entered the bakery, the woman behind the counter said, Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She took a deep breath and said slowly, Hello. My name is Emily. I want to buy some bread, please. The woman smiled and said, Sure. We have fresh bread and sandwiches. What would you like? Emily looked at the breads on the shelf. There were many types: white bread, brown bread, and small rolls. Emily pointed and said, I will take 1 white bread and 2 small rolls, please. The woman nodded and wrapped the bread carefully. Then she asked, Do you want anything to drink? Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, Yes, 1 small orange juice, please. While the woman prepared her order, Emily noticed a little boy looking at the cakes. He said, Mom, I want that chocolate cake. Emily smiled and said slowly, Hello. That cake looks yummy, doesn't it? The boy smiled and nodded. His mother laughed and said, Yes, it looks very good. Emily felt happy. She said quietly to herself, I am speaking English in real life. I am doing it. The woman handed Emily the bread and juice. Emily said, Thank you very much. The woman replied, You are welcome. Have a nice day. Emily smiled and said, You too. She walked outside with her bread and juice. She felt proud. Speaking English in a shop was a small challenge, but she did it carefully and politely. Now, friends, let's look at some new words from this story. Bakery means a place where bread and cakes are made and sold. Repeat after me. Bakery. Delicious means very tasty. Repeat. Delicious. Orange juice is juice made from oranges. Repeat. Orange juice. White bread is soft bread that is light in color. Repeat. White bread. Rolls are small pieces of bread. Repeat. Rolls. Very good. Next, let's practice a short conversation together. I will say a sentence, and you repeat slowly after me. Ready? Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Repeat. Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Good. I want to buy some bread, please. Repeat. I want to buy some bread, please. Excellent. Do you want anything to drink? Repeat. Do you want anything to drink?
Great job.
Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Now let's check your understanding. Who was in the bakery? Pause. Yes, Emily, the woman at the counter, a little boy, and his mother. What did Emily buy?
Pause. Correct.
1 white bread, 2 small rolls, and 1 small orange juice. How did Emily feel?
Pause. Right.
She felt proud and happy because she used English carefully and politely. After leaving the bakery, Emily walked to a small park near the street. She found a bench and sat down. She wanted to enjoy her orange juice and practice some English words she learned today. She said slowly, "Bakery bread rolls, juice delicious." I can say them slowly, and I can remember them. She repeated each word 2 times aloud. While Emily sat on the bench, she saw a woman walking her dog. The dog was small and fluffy. Emily wanted to practice speaking again. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Your dog is very cute. What is his name?" The woman replied, "Hello. Thank you. His name is Toby." Emily repeated slowly, "Toby. Toby is a good name." The woman smiled and said, "Yes, he is. Do you have a dog?" Emily shook her head and said, "No, but I like dogs very much." The woman said, "That's nice. You speak English very well." Emily felt happy and said quietly to herself, "Yes, I am learning step by step." Then Emily saw a small notice on a tree. It said, "English Speaking Club every Saturday. Come and practice English." Emily thought for a moment. She said, "Wow, this is a good chance to speak more English. I should try it next week." She wrote it in her notebook. English Club Saturday. Practice English. She smiled, feeling motivated. Now let's review some more new words. Cute means nice and pretty. Repeat. Cute. Name is what we call a person or an animal. Repeat. Name. Fluffy means soft and full of fur. Repeat. Fluffy. Notice is a small sign with information. Repeat. Notice. Club is a group of people who meet for the same activity. Repeat. Club. Excellent. Next, let's practice a little dialogue from Emily's conversation with the woman. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat. Hello. Your dog is very cute. Repeat. Hello. Your dog is very cute.
Good.
What is his name? Repeat. What is his name?
Great.
I like dogs very much. Repeat. I like dogs very much. Excellent. Now a small comprehension check. What is the dog's name?
Pause. Yes. Toby.
Where did Emily see the notice?
Pause. Correct.
On a tree in the park. When is the English speaking club? Pause.
Right.
Every Saturday. Why did Emily write it in her notebook?
Pause.
Yes. She wanted to remember to practice English. Before we finish this section, I want to give you a tip. Using English in real life, like in a shop, is very useful. Speak slowly, smile, and don't be afraid of mistakes. Repeat words and short sentences. Ask simple questions. Politeness and patience make communication easier. You can practice asking for items, prices, or directions. Step by step, you will feel more confident. So, today we learned to use English in a shop. Talk politely, ask questions, repeat words, and enjoy conversations with strangers. Emily practiced carefully and learned new words. You can do the same. Keep listening, speaking, and repeating. Every small step helps you improve your English. I'm happy to see you again. In the last section, we followed Emily to a bakery and a park. She practiced speaking English with the woman at the counter and with the dog owner. Today, Emily will go to a small market. She will talk to more people, ask questions, and practice English in real-life situations. Markets are great for practicing because you can see many things, meet different people, and hear lots of words. In the afternoon, Emily decided to go to the neighborhood market. She put on her backpack and walked slowly. The streets were full of small shops and colorful stalls. There were fruits, vegetables, clothes, toys, and many people shopping. Emily smiled and said quietly to herself, "This is a great place to practice English. I can ask questions, learn words, and speak slowly." The first stall she saw had many fresh fruits. The woman at the stall smiled and said, "Hello, would you like some fresh fruits?" Emily felt a little nervous but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, please. Can I have some apples and bananas?" The woman nodded and said, "Of course. How many apples and bananas do you want?" Emily thought for a moment and said, 3 apples and 5 bananas, please." While the woman picked the fruits, Emily noticed the price signs. She remembered new words, cost and price. She asked, "How much does it cost?" The woman replied, "It costs $6 for all." Emily smiled and said, "Thank you. Here is $6." The woman handed her the fruits and said, "You are welcome. Have a nice day." Emily replied, "Thank you. You too." She felt proud. Speaking English with money and numbers can be tricky, but she did it carefully. Next, Emily walked to another stall. This one had vegetables, tomatoes, carrots, onions, and green peppers. The man at the stall said, "Hello, do you want fresh vegetables?" Emily nodded and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, I want some tomatoes and carrots, please." The man asked, "How many tomatoes and carrots do you need?" Emily said, "For tomatoes and 3 carrots, please." The man wrapped the vegetables and said, "Here you go. That will be $5. Emily said, "Thank you very much." While she walked, Emily noticed a small toy stall. There were dolls, balls, and small puzzles. A little girl smiled at her and said, "Do you like this ball?" Emily smiled and said, "Yes, it is very nice." "How much is it?" The girl's mother said, "It is $3. Emily said slowly, "Thank you. Maybe next time." She laughed softly and continued walking. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this market story. Fruit is food like apples, bananas, or oranges. Repeat, fruit. Vegetables are foods like carrots, onions, or tomatoes. Repeat, vegetables. Stall is a small table or shop where people sell things. Repeat, stall. Cost or price is how much money something needs. Repeat, cost, price. Toy is something children play with. Repeat, toy. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's shopping experience. I will say a sentence slowly and you repeat. Hello. Would you like some fresh fruits? Repeat. Hello. Would you like some fresh fruits?
Good.
Can I have some apples and bananas? Repeat. Can I have some apples and bananas?
Great.
How much does it cost? Repeat. How much does it cost? Excellent. Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Emily continued walking through the market. She saw a small bakery stall with bread and pastries. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. This bread looks delicious. How much is it?" The man said, "It is $2." Emily said, "I will take one bread, please." The man wrapped it carefully and said, "Here you go." "Thank you." Emily said, "Thank you. Have a nice day." She felt happy. Using English in many situations made her more confident. While walking, Emily saw a woman selling flowers. The flowers were very colorful: red roses, yellow tulips, and pink lilies. Emily wanted to practice speaking again. She said slowly, "Hello. Your flowers are very beautiful. How much are the red roses?" The woman replied, "They are $5 each." Emily smiled and said, "Thank you. I like the yellow tulips too. How much are they?" The woman said, $3 each. Emily said slowly, "I will take 2 yellow tulips, please." She paid the money and said, "Thank you. Have a nice day." Now, let's pause and review new words from this conversation. Flowers are plants that are colorful and pretty. Repeat.
Flowers.
Rose is a type of flower, usually red. Repeat. Rose. Tulip is another type of flower, often yellow or pink. Repeat. Tulip. Lily is a flower, often pink or white. Repeat. Lily. Money is used to buy things. Repeat. Money. Excellent. Next, let's do a listening practice. I will ask questions and you think about the answer. Then I will give the answer slowly. Question 1. How many apples did Emily buy? Pause. Answer. 3 apples. Question 2. What did Emily buy at the vegetable stall?
Pause.
Answer. Tomatoes and carrots. Question 3. How much was the ball at the toy stall?
Pause.
Answer. $3. Question 4. Which flowers did Emily buy? Pause. Answer. 2 yellow tulips.
Great.
Now, friends, here is a small tip. When you go to a market or shop, try to use English for everything. Ask prices, ask about products, say thank you, and repeat new words aloud. Practicing English in real life helps you remember words faster. Speaking slowly and politely is very important. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did in the market. She bought fruits, vegetables, bread, and flowers. She asked about prices, counted money, and said thank you politely. She used new words like fruit, vegetables, stall, cost, price, toy, flowers, rose, tulip, and lily. She spoke slowly and confidently. You can do the same. Practice slowly, repeat words, and check yourself. So, today we learned to explore a market, talk to many people, ask questions by items, and practice English in real life. Emily practiced step by step, and she felt more confident. Remember, the more you speak and listen, the better you become. We followed Emily through a busy market. She bought fruits, vegetables, bread, and flowers. She asked questions, practiced counting money, and spoke politely. Today, Emily will go to a small cafe. She will order food, ask questions about the menu, and practice English in a friendly way. Cafes are a perfect place to practice speaking because there are many small interactions you can try. In the afternoon, Emily felt hungry after walking through the market. She noticed a small cafe on the corner. The sign said Sunny Cafe. She smiled and thought, this is a good chance to practice English. I will order food and speak slowly.
She walked inside.
The cafe was cozy. There were a few small tables, some with people reading, others chatting quietly. The smell of coffee and pastries was very pleasant. A friendly man behind the counter said, "Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you?" Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. My name is Emily. I would like to order some food, please." The man nodded and said, "Of course. Here is the menu. What would you like?" Emily looked at the menu carefully. The menu had many items: sandwiches, salads, coffee, tea, juice, and cakes. Emily wanted something light. She said slowly, "I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please." The man asked, "Would you like the sandwich with salad or without?" Emily thought and said slowly, "With salad, please." Then the man asked, "Do you want any sauce with your sandwich?" Emily smiled and said, "Yes, please. I would like some mayonnaise." The man nodded and said, "Sure. Anything else?" Emily thought for a moment and said, "No, thank you." The man smiled and said, "Okay, that will be $7." Emily took out her money and said slowly, "Here is $7. Thank you." The man handed her food and said, "You are welcome. Enjoy your meal." Emily smiled and walked to a small table near the window. As she sat down, Emily looked around and noticed people speaking English. She thought, this is a good place to practice listening too. She took a small bite of her sandwich and a sip of orange juice. She said slowly to herself, "Chicken sandwich, salad, mayonnaise, orange juice, delicious." She repeated each word 2 times aloud to remember. While eating, a woman sitting nearby smiled and said, "Hello. I like your sandwich. Is it good?" Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, it is very good. I like it." The woman asked, "What do you drink?" Emily replied, "Orange juice. It is fresh and tasty." The woman nodded and said, "That sounds nice. I will try it next time." Emily felt happy. Speaking English with someone new was not scary anymore. After finishing her food, Emily decided to order a small dessert. She walked back to the counter and said slowly, "Hello. I would like 1 chocolate cake, please." The man nodded and said, "Sure. That will be $3." Emily paid and said, "Thank you very much." She walked back to her table, took a small bite, and said slowly, "Chocolate cake, sweet, delicious." She smiled. Practicing English while enjoying food made learning more fun. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from Emily's cafe story. Sandwich is food with bread and filling inside. Repeat. Sandwich. Salad is a mixture of vegetables. Repeat. Salad. Sauce is a liquid added to food to make it tasty. Repeat. Sauce. Mayonnaise is a type of sauce. Repeat. Mayonnaise. Dessert is a sweet food eaten after a meal. Repeat. Dessert. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's cafe experience. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you? Repeat. Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you?
Good.
I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please. Repeat. I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please. Excellent. Do you want any sauce with your sandwich? Repeat. Do you want any sauce with your sandwich?
Great.
Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
While Emily enjoyed her meal, she noticed some new expressions. She said quietly to herself, "Enjoy your meal" means have a good meal. Repeat. Enjoy your meal. Fresh means something is new and good. Repeat. Fresh. Tasty means something is very good to eat. Repeat. Tasty. Now, let's do a small comprehension check. What did Emily order first? Pause. Yes. A chicken sandwich and orange juice. What sauce did she choose? Pause.
Correct.
Mayonnaise. How much did the sandwich and juice cost? Pause. Right. $7. What dessert did Emily order?
Pause. Yes.
Chocolate cake. After finishing her dessert, Emily decided to write down new words in her notebook. She wrote, sandwich, salad, sauce, mayonnaise, dessert, fresh, tasty, delicious, enjoy. Then she wrote small sentences. I like chicken sandwich. Orange juice is fresh. Chocolate cake is delicious. These sentences helped her remember the words and practice speaking slowly. Then Emily looked around and noticed people reading books, typing on laptops, and talking quietly. She thought, cafes are a great place to practice English. I can speak, listen, and read. Step by step, I will improve. She smiled, feeling motivated. Now, friends, here is a tip. When you go to a cafe, practice speaking English by ordering food politely, asking questions, and using new words. You can also read the menu aloud, repeat new words, and ask simple questions about the food. Using English in everyday situations makes learning natural and fun. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did in the cafe. She greeted the man politely, ordered food and drink, asked questions about salad and sauce, said thank you, spoke with a woman at another table, ordered dessert, and wrote new words in her notebook. She used sentences slowly and clearly, and she felt confident. You can do the same. So, today we learned to practice English in a cafe, order food, ask questions politely, repeat new words, and write sentences to remember. Emily practiced step by step, and she felt more confident speaking English. You can practice with small sentences every day. Speaking slowly, smiling, and repeating words helps you improve. We followed Emily to a cafe. She ordered food, asked questions about the menu, spoke politely, and practiced new words like sandwich, salad, dessert, and tasty. Today, Emily will go to a park. She will meet new people, listen to conversations, ask questions, and practice English in a friendly and natural way. Parks are wonderful places to hear English in real-life situations. In the late afternoon, Emily decided to visit the nearby park. The sun was soft and warm, and the sky was blue with a few white clouds. Children were playing, people were jogging, and some families were having small picnics. Emily smiled and said quietly to herself, This is a perfect place to practice English. I can talk with people, ask questions, and listen carefully. As she walked along the path, she saw a small group of people sitting on a bench. They were talking and laughing. Emily thought, I want to speak English with them, but I feel a little nervous. That's okay. I can try slowly. She walked closer and said politely, Hello, can I sit here? One woman smiled and said, Yes, of course. Have a seat. Emily smiled and sat down. The woman introduced herself. My name is Linda. And you are? Emily said slowly, Hello. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Linda smiled and said, That's wonderful. I can help you practice. Do you want to talk with us? Emily nodded and said, Yes, please. I want to speak English. Emily listened carefully as the group talked about simple things, the weather, their pets, and their hobbies. Linda asked, Emily, what do you like to do in your free time? Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, I like reading English books. I also like walking in the park and listening to English podcasts. Linda nodded and said, That's great. Reading and listening help a lot. One man in the group asked, Do you like sports, Emily? Emily smiled and said, Yes, I like walking, jogging, and sometimes cycling. I don't play football or basketball yet, but I want to learn. The man said, Good. Sports are fun and they help you stay healthy. Emily repeated slowly, Sports are fun. Sports help you stay healthy. Then a young girl in the group asked, Emily, do you have a pet? Emily nodded and said slowly, Yes, I have a cat. His name is Milo. He is small and very playful. The girl smiled and said, I have a dog. His name is Max. He likes to run and play too. Emily said slowly, That is nice. Pets are very friendly. They make people happy. The group smiled and nodded. After some time, Emily wanted to practice asking questions. She said slowly, Linda, can you tell me about your hobbies? Linda replied, I like gardening and reading books. Sometimes I walk in the park like you. Emily smiled and said, I like walking too. It is relaxing and fun. The group continued talking, and Emily listened carefully. She tried to understand each sentence and repeated new words slowly in her mind. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this park story. Pet is an animal you keep at home. Repeat. Pet. Playful means active and likes to play. Repeat. Playful. Hobby is something you enjoy doing in your free time. Repeat. Hobby. Relaxing means something that makes you calm and comfortable. Repeat. Relaxing. Healthy means good for your body. Repeat. Healthy. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's park experience. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello. Can I sit here? Repeat. Hello. Can I sit here? Good. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Repeat. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Excellent. I like walking in the park and listening to English podcasts. Repeat. I like walking in the park and listening to English podcasts.
Great.
Pets are very friendly. They make people happy. Repeat. Pets are very friendly. They make people happy.
Perfect.
Emily spent a long time in the park, talking and listening. She asked simple questions, answered questions, and repeated new words. She realized that listening carefully helped her understand more. Even if she didn't know every word, she tried to guess the meaning from the conversation. This is an important skill for learning English. Now, let's do a small comprehension check. Who did Emily meet in the park? Pause. Yes. Linda, a man, and a young girl. What did Emily talk about? Pause.
Correct.
The weather, pets, hobbies, and sports. What is Emily's cat's name? Pause.
Right.
Milo. What new words did Emily learn? Pause. Yes. Pet, playful, hobby, relaxing, healthy. After talking with the group, Emily decided to walk around the park and observe more. She noticed children playing on swings, some people jogging, and birds flying in the sky. She said slowly, swing, jog, bird, flying, park, relaxing. She repeated each word aloud to practice pronunciation. She also wrote the words in her notebook for future review. While walking, Emily saw a small ice cream cart. The man at the cart said, "Hello. Would you like some ice cream?" Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, please. Can I have one chocolate ice cream?" The man nodded and said, "Of course. That will be $2." Emily gave him the money and said, "Thank you very much." She walked to a bench, ate her ice cream, and said slowly, "Ice cream, chocolate, sweet, delicious." Now, friends, let's learn some new words from the park ice cream scene. Swing is a seat hung from a frame that moves back and forth.
Repeat. Swing.
Jog means to run slowly. Repeat. Jog. Bird is an animal that can fly. Repeat. Bird. Flying means moving in the air. Repeat. Flying. Ice cream is a sweet cold food. Repeat. Ice cream. Excellent. Before we finish this section, let's summarize. Emily practiced English in the park by talking with new people, asking and answering questions, listening carefully, and repeating new words. She learned vocabulary related to pets, hobbies, sports, and the environment. She also practiced ordering ice cream and using polite sentences. Step by step, Emily became more confident in real-life English situations. Here's a tip for you, friends. Parks are great places to practice English. You can talk to friends, ask questions, describe what you see, and repeat words slowly. Always smile and speak politely. Even small conversations help improve your listening and speaking skills. We followed Emily to the park. She talked with new people, learned about pets, hobbies, sports, and even practiced ordering ice cream. Today, Emily will join a small English club meeting. She will meet more people, listen to a short story, repeat sentences aloud, and practice speaking in a friendly environment. English clubs are perfect for learning naturally because you can listen, repeat, and speak with others. In the early evening, Emily walked to a small community center. A sign on the door said, "English Speaking Club, every Saturday, 5 p.m. She smiled and thought, "This is the day. I will speak English with more people and practice listening carefully." She opened the door and saw a small room with chairs in a circle. There were 6 people sitting and waiting. A woman smiled and said, "Hello. Welcome to the English Club. Please have a seat." Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hello. My name is Emily. I am learning English." The woman replied, "Nice to meet you, Emily. I am Sarah. We will practice English together today. First, we will listen to a short story. Then we can talk and ask questions. Are you ready? Emily nodded and said, Yes, I am ready. She felt a little nervous but excited. She thought, I can do this step by step. I will listen carefully and repeat slowly. Sarah began the story. She said slowly and clearly, Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Tom. Tom loved animals. Every morning, he walked to the forest near his house. He watched birds, rabbits, and squirrels. He wanted to help animals and learn about them. Emily listened carefully. Some words were new, but she tried to guess the meaning from the story. She repeated slowly in her mind. Forest, rabbits, squirrels, help. Sarah continued. One day, Tom found a small bird with a broken wing. He felt sad and wanted to help the bird. He carefully picked up the bird and took it home. He made a small bed for the bird and gave it water and food. Slowly, the bird became strong again and could fly. Tom was happy. Emily smiled and repeated slowly, Bird, broken wing, pick up, bed, water, food, fly, happy. She also wrote the words in her notebook. She said, Repeating words slowly helps me remember. Listening carefully helps me understand. After the story, Sarah asked, Emily, can you tell me what happened in the story? Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, Tom, he found a bird, broken wing. He helped the bird. Bird became strong, could fly. Tom was happy. Sarah nodded and said, Excellent. Very good listening and speaking. Emily smiled, feeling proud. Then Sarah asked the group, What new words did you learn? Emily raised her hand and said slowly, I learned forest, rabbits, squirrels, broken wing, bed, water, food, fly. The group repeated the words together slowly. Forest, rabbits, squirrels, broken wing, bed, water, food, fly. Emily smiled. Repeating together helped her remember the words better. Next, Sarah said, Let's practice a short dialogue from the story. I will say a sentence, and you repeat slowly. Emily nodded and smiled. Tom found a small bird with a broken wing. Repeat. Tom found a small bird with a broken wing. Good. He carefully picked up the bird and took it home. Repeat. He carefully picked up the bird and took it home. Excellent. The bird became strong again and could fly. Repeat. The bird became strong again and could fly.
Great.
Tom was happy. Repeat. Tom was happy.
Perfect.
After the dialogue practice, Sarah asked the group to talk about animals. She said, Can you tell a short story or experience about an animal you know? Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, I have a cat. His name is Milo. He is small and playful.
He likes to eat and sleep.
He makes me happy every day. The group smiled and said, Very good, Emily. You speak clearly and slowly. Excellent. Then another student said, I have a dog. His name is Max. He likes running and playing with me. Emily listened carefully and repeated the words slowly in her mind. Dog, running, playing. She realized that listening to others helps her learn new words naturally. Next, Sarah gave a small exercise. She said, We will ask each other questions about animals. One person asks, another answers. Use full sentences. Speak slowly and clearly. Emily felt a little nervous but excited. The first person asked, Do you have a pet? Emily replied slowly, "Yes, I have a cat. His name is Milo." Another person asked, "What is your cat like?" Emily said slowly, "He likes to eat, sleep, and play." The group clapped and said, "Very good. Excellent practice." Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this English club story. Forest is a large area with many trees.
Repeat. Forest.
Rabbit is a small animal with long ears. Repeat. Rabbit. Squirrel is a small animal with a bushy tail. Repeat. Squirrel. Wing is the part of a bird that helps it fly. Repeat. Wing. Pick up means to lift something carefully. Repeat. Pick up. Excellent. Next, let's practice some sentences together. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat. Tom found a small bird with a broken wing. Repeat. Tom found a small bird with a broken wing. Good. He carefully picked up the bird and took it home. Repeat. He carefully picked up the bird and took it home. Excellent. The bird became strong again and could fly. Repeat. The bird became strong again and could fly.
Great. Tom was happy.
Repeat. Tom was happy.
Perfect.
Now, a small comprehension check. Who did Tom find in the forest?
Pause.
Yes. A small bird. What was wrong with the bird?
Pause. Correct.
It had a broken wing. What did Tom give to the bird?
Pause. Right.
Water and food, and he made a small bed. Could the bird fly again?
Pause.
Yes. Slowly, after Tom helped it. After the club meeting, Emily felt very happy. She said quietly to herself, "Today, I listened to a story, repeated sentences, asked and answered questions, and spoke with new people. Step by step, I am improving my English." She wrote the new words in her notebook: forest, rabbit, squirrel, wing, pick up, bed, water, food, fly, happy. She repeated each word aloud slowly. Now, friends, here is a tip. Joining an English club or conversation group is very useful. You can listen carefully, repeat sentences, speak slowly, ask questions, and learn new words. Practicing in a friendly group helps build confidence and makes learning English natural and fun. She listened to a short story, repeated sentences, asked and answered questions, and learned new words. Today, Emily will go shopping for clothes. She will speak with shop assistants, ask about sizes, colors, and prices, and practice polite English. Shopping is a perfect way to practice English because you can use questions, numbers, and everyday words naturally. In the late afternoon, Emily walked to a small clothing store near the park. The shop had colorful shirts, pants, dresses, and jackets on display. Emily smiled and said quietly to herself, "This is a good place to practice English. I can ask questions, try things, and speak slowly and politely." She opened the door and saw a friendly woman arranging clothes. The woman smiled and said, "Hello. Welcome to our store. Can I help you?" Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. My name is Emily. I want to buy some clothes, please." The woman nodded and said, "Of course. What are you looking for?" Emily looked at the colorful shirts and said slowly, "I like this blue shirt. Can I try it?" The woman smiled and said, "Yes. The fitting room is over there." Emily walked to the fitting room and tried the shirt. She looked in the mirror and said quietly, "Blue shirt fits well. I like it." She smiled and thought, "Speaking slowly helps me feel confident." After trying the shirt, Emily went back to the counter. She said slowly, "Hello. I like this shirt. How much is it?" The woman replied, "It costs $15. Emily nodded and said, "Thank you. I will take it." She gave the money and said politely, "Here is $15. Thank you very much." The woman handed her the shirt and said, "You are welcome. Have a nice day." Emily smiled and walked out of the store, feeling proud. Next, Emily noticed some pants on display. She wanted to practice asking about sizes. She walked back inside and said slowly, "Hello. Can you tell me about these pants? I am not sure about the size." The woman said, "Sure. These pants come in small, medium, and large. What size do you usually wear?" Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, "I usually wear small." The woman nodded and said, "Great. You can try the small size in the fitting room." Emily tried the pants and said quietly, "Small fits comfortable good." She walked back to the counter and asked slowly, "How much are the pants?" The woman replied, "They are $20. Emily smiled and said, "Thank you. I will take them." She gave the money and said, "Thank you very much. You are very kind." The woman smiled and said, "Thank you. You are welcome." While walking around, Emily noticed some colorful scarves. She wanted to practice asking about colors. She picked up a red scarf and said slowly, "Hello. I like this scarf. Do you have it in green or yellow?" The woman replied, "Yes. We have green and yellow scarves. Which color do you prefer?" Emily smiled and said slowly, "I will take the green one, please." She paid for the scarf and said, "Thank you very much." Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this clothing store story. Shirt is a piece of clothing worn on the upper body. Repeat, shirt. Pants are clothing worn on the lower body. Repeat, pants. Size is how big or small something is. Repeat, size. Small, medium, large are different sizes. Repeat, small, medium, large. Scarf is a piece of cloth worn around the neck. Repeat, scarf. Color is what we see, like red, blue, green, or yellow. Repeat, color. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's shopping experience. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello. Can I help you? Repeat. Hello. Can I help you? Good. I like this blue shirt. Can I try it? Repeat. I like this blue shirt. Can I try it? Excellent. How much is it? Repeat. How much is it?
Great.
I usually wear small. Repeat. I usually wear small.
Perfect.
Now, let's do a small comprehension check. What color was the first shirt Emily tried?
Pause.
Yes.
Blue.
How much was the shirt? Pause.
Correct.
$15. What sizes do the pants come in? Pause.
Right.
Small, medium, and large. Which color scarf did Emily choose? Pause. Yes.
Green.
After shopping, Emily decided to sit on a small bench outside the store. She said slowly to herself, "Shirt pants, scarf, small, green, $15, $20 colored size. She repeated each word aloud to remember. She also wrote the new words in her notebook. Repeating words and sentences helps her speak slowly and confidently. Then Emily thought about what she learned. She said quietly, "Shopping is a very good way to practice English. I can ask questions, say thank you, talk about prices, sizes, and colors. Step by step, I am improving." She smiled and felt motivated. Now, friends, here is a tip. When you go shopping, practice asking questions politely about the size, color, price, or material. Speak slowly, repeat new words, and always say thank you. This helps you practice real-life English in a natural way. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did in the clothing store. She greeted the shop assistant politely, tried a shirt and pants, asked about sizes and colors, paid for the items, said thank you, and repeated new words. She used sentences slowly and clearly, and she felt proud.
You can do the same.
Step by step, practicing English in shops helps you improve your listening and speaking skills. So today, we learned to practice English while shopping, asking about size, color, and price, speaking politely, repeating new words, and writing them in a notebook. Emily practiced carefully and improved her confidence. Remember, everyday situations like shopping are excellent opportunities to speak and listen to English. Thank you for listening to Section 8. Keep your notebook ready and review all new words. In the next section, Section 9, Emily will visit a small cafe again, but this time she'll talk with a friend, practice ordering drinks and snacks, and ask questions about daily routines. You'll have more chances to repeat sentences, learn new words, and practice listening. She asked questions about sizes, colors, and prices, spoke politely, and practiced new words. Today, Emily will go back to a cafe, but this time she will meet a friend. She will practice ordering drinks and snacks, ask about daily routines, and speak naturally. Talking with friends is a very good way to improve English because you can use simple, everyday sentences. In the morning, Emily walked to the sunny cafe. The smell of coffee and pastries was inviting. She smiled and thought, "I hope my friend is here. This is a great chance to speak English with a friend." She opened the door and saw her friend, Anna, sitting at a table near the window. Anna waved and said, "Hi, Emily.
Come sit with me."
Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hi, Anna.
Thank you.
It is nice to see you." Emily sat down, and the waiter came over. He said, "Hello. What would you like to drink?" Emily looked at the menu and said slowly, "I would like a cup of tea, please." Anna said, "I will have coffee, please." The waiter nodded and said, "Sure. Anything to eat?" Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, "I would like a small sandwich, please." Anna said, "I will take a slice of cake, please." The waiter smiled and said, "Thank you. I will bring your order soon." While waiting, Emily and Anna started talking. Anna asked, "Emily, what do you usually do in the morning?" Emily replied slowly, "I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. I eat breakfast, read a book, and sometimes listen to English podcasts." Anna nodded and said, "That's great. Listening to podcasts helps a lot." Emily repeated slowly, "Listening to podcasts helps a lot." Anna asked, "Do you exercise in the morning?" Emily said slowly, "Yes, sometimes I walk for 20 minutes in the park." It is relaxing and makes me happy. Anna smiled and said, walking is very good. I like walking too. Emily repeated, walking is very good. Walking is relaxing. Then the waiter brought their drinks and food. Emily said slowly, thank you very much. The waiter smiled and said, you are welcome. Enjoy your meal. Emily looked at her small sandwich and said quietly, sandwich small, tasty, delicious. She took a bite and smiled. Anna looked at her cake and said slowly, this cake is sweet and soft. Emily said, yes, delicious. Next, Anna asked, Emily, what do you usually do in the afternoon? Emily said slowly, I usually go to the market, buy fruits and vegetables, and sometimes visit the park. I also practice English by speaking and listening. Anna nodded and said, that is excellent. Practicing every day helps you improve. Emily repeated, practicing every day helps you improve. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this cafe conversation. Breakfast is the first meal of the day. Repeat, breakfast. Afternoon is the part of the day after lunch. Repeat, afternoon. Exercise is physical activity to keep the body healthy. Repeat, exercise. Relaxing means something that makes you calm and comfortable. Repeat, relaxing. Podcast is an audio program you can listen to. Repeat, podcast. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's cafe experience. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. What would you like to drink? Repeat. What would you like to drink?
Good.
I would like a cup of tea, please. Repeat. I would like a cup of tea, please. Excellent. I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. Repeat. I usually wake up at 7 o'clock.
Great.
I usually go to the market, buy fruits and vegetables, and practice English. Repeat. I usually go to the market, buy fruits and vegetables, and practice English.
Perfect.
While Emily and Anna talked, they also asked questions about each other's hobbies. Anna asked, do you like reading books in English? Emily replied slowly, yes, I like reading English books. Sometimes I read short stories, and sometimes I read simple news articles. Anna said, that is very good. Reading helps you learn new words. Emily repeated slowly, reading helps me learn new words. Then Emily asked, Anna, do you watch English movies? Anna smiled and said, yes, I watch movies with subtitles. It helps me understand and listen to English. Emily said slowly, watching movies helps listening and learning words. The friends laughed and continued talking. Speaking slowly and repeating new words helped Emily feel more confident. Now, let's do a small comprehension check. What did Emily order to drink?
Pause.
Yes.
Tea.
What did she order to eat? Pause. Correct. A small sandwich. What time does Emily usually wake up? Pause. Right. 7 o'clock. Where does Emily go in the afternoon?
Pause.
Yes. Market and park. What new words did we learn today?
Pause.
Yes. Breakfast, afternoon, exercise, relaxing, podcast. After finishing their food, Emily and Anna decided to write down new words in their notebooks. Emily wrote, breakfast, afternoon, exercise, relaxing, podcast, sandwich, cake, drink, meal. She repeated each word slowly and said simple sentences, I eat breakfast in the morning. I go to the park in the afternoon. I like exercise because it is relaxing. I listen to a podcast every day. Repeating sentences helps remember new words and practice speaking. Then Emily thought about what she learned today. She said quietly, "Talking with friends helps me practice English naturally. I can ask questions, answer questions, and repeat new words. Step by step, my English improves." She smiled, feeling happy and motivated. Now, friends, here is a tip. Meeting a friend and speaking English is very helpful. You can ask about daily routines, hobbies, or activities. Speak slowly, repeat new words, and write sentences in your notebook. Practicing with a friend makes learning English fun and natural. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did in the cafe with her friend. She greeted politely, ordered drinks and snacks, talked about daily routines, asked and answered questions, repeated new words, and wrote sentences in her notebook. She used sentences slowly, listened carefully, and felt more confident. You can do the same. Step by step, practicing English with friends helps improve listening, speaking, and confidence. So today, we learned to practice English while talking with a friend in a cafe, ordering food and drinks, asking questions about daily routines, repeating sentences, and writing new words. Emily practiced carefully and improved her English skills. Everyday conversations are excellent opportunities to practice English naturally. We followed Emily to a cafe where she met her friend Anna. She ordered drinks and snacks, asked questions about daily routines, and practiced speaking naturally. Today, Emily will go on a short city trip. She will meet strangers, ask for directions, and speak English in real-life travel situations. Asking for directions is a very useful skill because it helps you travel and practice English at the same time. In the morning, Emily decided to visit the city center. She wanted to see the museum, walk around the main street, and enjoy the city. She packed a small bag, put on comfortable shoes, and said quietly, "This is a perfect chance to practice English. I will ask for directions, speak slowly, and be polite." As Emily walked down the street, she saw a man standing near a corner. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you help me, please? I want to go to the museum." The man smiled and said, "Yes, of course. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. The museum is next to the park." Emily repeated slowly, "Go straight 2 blocks, turn left, next to the park." "Thank you very much." The man said, "You are welcome. Enjoy your visit." Emily smiled and walked carefully, remembering the directions. While walking, Emily thought quietly, "Asking for directions is a very good way to practice English. I can use polite words. Hello, excuse me, please, thank you. Step by step, I will become more confident." She walked straight for 2 blocks, turned left, and saw the museum next to a small park. She said slowly, "Museum next to park. I found it." She felt happy and proud. Emily entered the museum. A woman at the entrance said, "Hello. Welcome to the museum. Would you like a map?" Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, please. Thank you." The woman handed her a map and said, "You are welcome. Enjoy your visit." Emily looked at the map and said quietly, "Map, museum visit. I can see the rooms and exhibits." She started walking and reading the signs slowly. While exploring the museum, Emily met another visitor. The visitor smiled and said, "Hello. Are you visiting for the first time?" Emily replied slowly, "Hello. Yes, it is my first time. I am learning English and visiting new places." The visitor nodded and said, "That's wonderful. I hope you enjoy the museum." Emily said slowly, "Thank you very much. I will enjoy it." Emily noticed many exhibits, paintings, sculptures, and photographs. She walked slowly and said quietly, "Painting, sculpture, photograph, art beautiful." She wrote these words in her notebook and repeated them aloud. She said, "Repeating words aloud helps me remember and speak English better." After exploring for some time, Emily wanted to ask about the exit. She saw a staff member and said slowly, "Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me where the exit is, please?" The staff member smiled and said, "Yes. The exit is straight ahead, next to the gift shop." Emily repeated slowly, "Exit straight ahead next to gift shop. Thank you very much." She felt proud that she could ask a question and understand the answer. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from Emily's city trip story. Museum is a place where you can see art, history, or science exhibits. Repeat. Museum. Map is a paper or guide that shows locations. Repeat. Map. Exhibit is something displayed in a museum. Repeat. Exhibit. Painting is an artwork made with colors on a surface. Repeat. Painting. Sculpture is a three-dimensional artwork made from stone, metal, or wood. Repeat. Sculpture. Photograph is a picture taken with a camera. Repeat. Photograph. Exit is the way out. Repeat. Exit. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's city trip. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you help me, please? Repeat. Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you help me, please?
Good.
I want to go to the museum. Repeat. I want to go to the museum. Excellent. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. Repeat. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left.
Great.
Where is the exit? Repeat. Where is the exit?
Perfect.
While walking around, Emily also noticed a small cafe near the museum. She said quietly, "Cafe, coffee, tea, small, inviting." She decided to practice ordering a drink later. Emily also talked to another visitor and asked slowly, "Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me how to go to the city library?" The visitor smiled and said, "Yes. Go back 2 blocks, then turn right. You will see the library on your left." Emily repeated slowly, 2 blocks, turn right, library on the left. Thank you very much. She realized that asking for directions is very useful in real life and helps practice English naturally. Now, let's do a small comprehension check. Who helped Emily find the museum?
Pause. Yes.
A man on the street. How did Emily ask politely?
Pause.
Correct. She said, "Hello.
Excuse me.
Can you help me, please?" Where is the museum located? Pause.
Right.
Next to the park. What new words did we learn today? Pause. Yes. Museum, map, exhibit, painting, sculpture, photograph, exit. After finishing her city trip, Emily sat on a small bench and wrote new words in her notebook. She repeated sentences slowly. I visited the museum today. asked for directions politely. I saw paintings, sculptures, and photographs. Repeating sentences helped her remember words and speak English confidently. Then Emily thought quietly, traveling is a wonderful way to practice English. I can ask questions, speak politely, learn new words, and explore new places. Step by step, my English improves. She smiled, feeling happy and motivated. Now, friends, here's a tip. When you travel to a new place, practice English by asking for directions, reading signs, and talking to people politely. Speak slowly, repeat new words, and write sentences in your notebook. Real-life travel situations are excellent opportunities to practice English naturally. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did on her city trip. She asked for directions politely, followed instructions, visited a museum, asked about the exit, explored exhibits, repeated new words, and wrote sentences in her notebook. She used sentences slowly and clearly, and she felt confident. You can do the same. Step by step, practicing English while traveling helps improve listening, speaking, and confidence. So today, we learned to practice English on a city trip, asking for directions, visiting a museum, exploring exhibits, repeating sentences, and writing new words. Emily practiced carefully and improved her English skills. Everyday travel situations are excellent opportunities to speak and listen to English naturally. We followed Emily on a city trip. She asked for directions, visited a museum, explored exhibits, and practiced English naturally while traveling. Today, Emily will visit a library. She will speak with the staff, search for books, and practice English for learning and studying. Libraries are perfect places to practice English because you can ask questions, read, and speak in a quiet and friendly environment. In the morning, Emily walked to the city library. The building was big, with tall windows and a quiet entrance. She smiled and thought, "This is a great chance to practice English. I will ask questions, find books, and speak politely." She entered the library and saw a staff member at the front desk. The staff member smiled and said, "Hello. Welcome to the library. Can I help you?" Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Can you help me find some books, please?" The staff member nodded and said, "Of course. What type of books are you looking for?" Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, "I want books to learn English. I also like short stories and easy reading books." The staff member smiled and said, "Very good. We have a special section for English learning books. Follow me, please." Emily walked carefully and said quietly, "English learning, short stories, easy reading. I can find them." At the English section, Emily saw many books on shelves. She said slowly, "Book, English, learn story, easy, interesting." She picked up a small book and opened it. The sentences were simple, and she could understand most words. She said quietly, "This is good. I can read and practice speaking." Then Emily asked the staff member slowly, "Excuse me, can you recommend a short story for beginners?" The staff member smiled and said, "Yes, this book is very popular for beginners. It has short chapters and simple sentences." Emily replied slowly, "Thank you very much. I will try it." She sat at a small table, opened the book, and read slowly. Once upon a time, there was a small village. People were friendly and kind. They helped each other every day. She repeated the sentences slowly aloud. Once upon a time, small village, friendly, kind, helped each other every day. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from Emily's library visit. Library is a place with books for reading or borrowing. Repeat. Library. Staff is a person who works in a place, like a library. Repeat. Staff. Book is something you read to learn or enjoy. Repeat. Book. Short story is a small story with a few pages. Repeat. Short story. Beginner means a person who is new to something. Repeat. Beginner. Excellent. After reading a short story, Emily wanted to practice asking more questions. She said slowly, "Excuse me, where can I find books about animals?" The staff member smiled and said, "Those books are in aisle 5 on the right side." Emily repeated slowly, "Aisle 5, right side, thank you very much." She walked carefully to aisle 5 and looked at the books. She said quietly, "Animals books, read, learn interesting." She picked a small book about cats and read a few sentences aloud. Cats are small animals. They like to play and sleep. People love cats. Emily repeated slowly, "Cats are small animals. They like to play and sleep. People love cats." Then Emily practiced asking politely about borrowing books. She said slowly, "Hello. Can I borrow this book, please?" The staff member smiled and said, "Yes. You can borrow it for 2 weeks. Please show your library card." Emily said slowly, "Thank you very much. Here is my card." She received the card back and said quietly, "Borrow library card. 2 weeks. Thank you very much." Now, friends, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's library visit. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello. Can you help me find some books, please? Repeat. Hello. Can you help me find some books, please? Good. I want books to learn English. Repeat. I want books to learn English. Excellent. Can you recommend a short story for beginners? Repeat. Can you recommend a short story for beginners?
Great.
Can I borrow this book, please? Repeat. Can I borrow this book, please?
Perfect.
While Emily read and borrowed books, she also practiced simple sentences. She said quietly, "I read a book every day. I learn new words. I practice speaking slowly. I ask questions politely." Libraries are very helpful. Repeating sentences aloud helped her remember new words and practice speaking naturally. Next, let's do a small comprehension check. Where did Emily go today? Pause. Yes. To the library. Who helped Emily find books?
Pause. Correct.
A staff member. What type of books did Emily want? Pause.
Right.
English learning books and short stories. Where are the books about animals? Pause.
Yes.
In aisle 5 on the right side. After finishing her library visit, Emily sat at a small table and wrote new words in her notebook. Library, staff, book, short story, beginner, aisle, borrow, card. She repeated sentences slowly. I read a book every day. I borrow books from the library. I ask questions politely. Repeating sentences helped her improve speaking and listening skills. Then Emily thought quietly, libraries are very useful for learning English. I can read, ask questions, borrow books, and practice speaking. Step by step, I am improving my English. She smiled, feeling proud and motivated. Now, friends, here is a tip. Visiting a library is a great way to practice English. You can ask questions politely, read books, repeat sentences aloud, write new words in your notebook, and speak naturally. Step by step, libraries help you improve listening, speaking, and reading skills. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did at the library. She greeted the staff politely, asked for help, found English learning and short story books, borrowed books, repeated sentences aloud, and wrote new words in her notebook. She spoke slowly, listened carefully, and felt more confident. You can do the same. Step by step, practicing English in a library helps improve your language skills naturally. So today, we learned to practice English at the library. Asking for help, finding books, borrowing books, repeating sentences, and writing new words. Emily practiced carefully and improved her English skills. Libraries are excellent opportunities to speak, read, and listen to English naturally. I'm so happy you have stayed with me through all these sections. Today, we will finish Emily's journey, reflect on everything she learned, review new words, repeat sentences, and give tips for practicing English every day. This is a very important part because reflection and review help you remember and use English naturally. Emily sat quietly at home, her notebook open. She smiled and thought, I have learned so much this week. I met new people, practiced speaking, listened carefully, repeated sentences, and wrote new words. Step by step, I am improving. She remembered her first day when she felt nervous and unsure. Now, after speaking at the cafe, shopping in the store, visiting the museum and library, and joining an English club, she felt confident and happy. She realized that learning English is a journey, and every small step is important. Let's review all the new words Emily learned. From the park and her first conversation, we learned friend, pet, play, walk, happy, nervous, hobby, ice cream. Repeat after me. Friend, pet, play, walk, happy, nervous, hobby, ice cream.
Great.
From the English club, we learned forest, rabbit, squirrel, wing, pickup, bed, water, food, fly, happy. Repeat slowly. Forest, rabbit, squirrel, wing, pickup, bed, water, food, fly, happy. Excellent. From shopping for clothes, we learned shirt, pants, size, small, medium, large, scarf, color, price, money. Repeat, shirt, pants, size, small, medium, large, scarf, color, price, money. Very good. From the cafe conversation, we learned breakfast, afternoon, exercise, relaxing, podcast, sandwich, cake, drink, meal. Repeat slowly. Breakfast, afternoon, exercise, relaxing, podcast, sandwich, cake, drink, meal.
Perfect.
From the city trip and museum visit, we learned museum, map, exhibit, painting, sculpture, photograph, exit, directions, street, blocks, turn left, turn right. Repeat, museum, map, exhibit, painting, sculpture, photograph, exit, directions, street, blocks, turn left, turn right. Excellent. From the library visit, we learned library, staff, book, short story, beginner, aisle, borrow, card, read, study. Repeat. Library, staff, book, short story, beginner, aisle, borrow, card, read, study.
Great.
Now, friends, let's review some key sentences Emily practiced during her journey. Repeat after me slowly. Hello. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Repeat. Hello. My name is Emily. I am learning English. Good. Can you help me, please? Repeat. Can you help me, please? Excellent. I would like a cup of tea, please. Repeat. I would like a cup of tea, please.
Great.
I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. Repeat. I usually wake up at 7 o'clock.
Perfect.
I want books to learn English. Repeat. I want books to learn English. Very good. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. Repeat. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. Excellent. Emily also thought about what she learned about listening, speaking, reading, and writing. She said quietly, listening carefully helps me understand new words. Repeating sentences aloud helps me speak slowly and clearly. Writing words in my notebook helps me remember. Asking questions politely makes me confident. Step by step, I can speak English naturally. Now, friends, here is a very important tip for you. Practice every day. Even 10 minutes of listening, repeating, or reading is very helpful. Speak slowly, repeat words, write sentences, and listen carefully. Do not worry if you make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Be patient and keep practicing. Emily also remembered the little tips she learned in every situation. At the park, she practiced simple greetings and talking about hobbies. At the English club, she listened to a story, repeated sentences, and asked questions. Shopping helped her ask about size, color, and price. Cafe conversations taught her to talk about daily routines. City trips helped her ask for directions. And the library helped her ask for books, read, and borrow. All these steps together helped her improve naturally. Emily wrote a short reflection in her notebook. Every day, I practice English. I listen, speak, repeat, write, and read. I speak politely and slowly. I ask questions and enjoy learning. English is fun, and I am improving every day. She smiled and said slowly, step by step, I can speak English naturally. I am proud of my journey. Now, friends, let's practice some motivational sentences together. Repeat slowly. I can learn English step by step. Repeat. I can learn English step by step.
Good.
Listening carefully helps me understand new words. Repeat. Listening carefully helps me understand new words. Excellent. Speaking slowly and politely helps me communicate. Repeat. Speaking slowly and politely helps me communicate.
Great.
Every mistake is a chance to learn. Repeat. Every mistake is a chance to learn.
Perfect.
I will practice every day and improve. Repeat. I will practice every day and improve. Very good. Emily felt happy and confident. She realized that learning English is not only about speaking perfectly. It is about listening, practicing, asking questions, and enjoying the journey. Step by step, every new word, sentence, and conversation makes a difference. She thought, I will continue practicing every day. I can speak English naturally, and I am proud of myself. Finally, Emily smiled at the camera in her mind and said slowly, "Thank you for practicing English with me. You are doing very well. Keep listening, speaking, repeating, writing, and learning. Step by step, you will improve. English is fun, and you can do it." Now, friends, this is the end of our English listening practice journey. We have learned greetings, talking about hobbies, shopping, cafes, city trips, museums, libraries, asking questions politely, repeating sentences, and reviewing vocabulary. You can practice these steps every day. Remember, the more you listen and speak, the better you become. Thank you so much for listening with me today. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to our English learning channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Keep practicing English every day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye, friends.